Okay, out here is the vulva, the external genitalia of the female. And we'll get into the details of it in a moment. If we get the lay of the land, here's the anus. So that makes this the rectum. Here's the ovary, and the red stuff is the beginning of the oviduct, and the end of it, of course, are the fimbria. Now, they show it attached to the ovary. That's incorrect. It's really open. In fact, there are times when the egg falls into the abdominal cavity. And if that egg happened to have been fertilized, then the egg attaches itself to structures within the abdominal cavity. And of course, if it develops into a fetus, you're really in trouble because it can't get out. What do they call that kind of pregnancy?
Ectopic.
An ectopic pregnancy, okay? So if the egg develops in the abdominal cavity, it's ectopic. If the egg doesn't traverse down the oviduct to the uterus and starts to develop into an embryo and fetus in the oviduct, which again rarely happens, that's also called an ectopic pregnancy. It's also possible that the penis will introduce germs, foreign bacteria that the body has no defense against because it's never encountered it yet, and they can traverse up and drip into the abdominal cavity, into the pelvic part of the abdominal cavity, and they call that PID, pelvic inflammatory disease. The doctors will swear that PID can only occur as a result of sexual intercourse, but the women will tell you, hell no, it just happens. Who knows? So here we have the urinary bladder. Here's the oviduct, the fimbria, the what? The what? The ovary. Okay, the ovary. All right. So now, let's flip it open. Here's the urinary bladder with the urethra. Here is the uterus. Here is the vagina. Out here is the labia majora. Within that is the labia minora. This little structure right here is the clitoris. This is the opening of the vagina, and at the end of the vagina will be the opening to the uterus. So this will be the There's two things here. This is the lowest part of the abdominal cavity. What's the name of that on your list? The lowest part of the abdominal cavity? See it there? The rectouterine pouch. Okay, that's the lowest point of the abdominal cavity. Rectouterine pouch. And here, this extension of the tube, which starts as the vagina, but it extends up and starts to surround the opening of the uterus. This is called the fornix, F-O-R-N-I-X, the fornix. So over here, we've got the very beginning of the uterus. What's that called?
That's the uterine tube oviduct.
No.
Cervix.
Right. This is the cervix and the cervical os. Cervix, cervical os, uterus. Innermost lining, I'm not going to ask you, I promise not to ask you for endometrium, myometrium, and so on. So basically, this is what you have to know. You also should be aware of the ureter coming down here towards the urinary bladder. You can trace it. You should see the fimbria and ovarian tube on this side, as well as the ovary itself. Okay? and you can see the ligament. Which ligaments do I ask you to learn? The broad ligament and the round. This is the broad ligament. It attaches these organs to the lateral wall of the pelvic cavity. The broad ligament. And this I can't tell. Oh, I think it's over here, but I'm not going to ask you because I'm not sure. I believe it's this thing right here is the round ligament. But learn broad ligament for me. I'll test you on broad ligament. Okay? So, we've got, do I mention the bulbourethral, the Bartholin's gland? Yeah. Bartholin.
And the pubic symphysis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Symphysis.
Yes, you do.
The glands that are shown here next to this white stuff, these types of glands here and here. If I ask for stuff over here, those are glands that moisturize mucus, make slippery the vulval structures to ease the insertion of the penis. Then, of course, the eggs, the follicles, and all that jazz you can't see without a microscope. So that's it.